Today we embark on a journey through the winding streets of Paris, where a battle for justice and equality rages on. I'm going to tell you why the Paris protesters have got the right cause but the wrong methods. We'll talk about strikes, tax reform, and the real way to fix this issue.
France.
It's
Paris.
Police came in and started using batons and tear gas to clear them.
Picture this, a city humming with volatile energy, where the air is filled with voices demanding change. The Paris protesters have a cause that resonates with many, a desire for a return to the democratic process, a desire for a better future. The French are upset about two things. The president, Emmanuel Macron, raising the retirement age from 62 to 64. The fact that he did so without a vote in parliament. But here's the thing, having the right cause doesn't automatically mean you have the right methods. Right now, Macron and the establishment are the bad guys, but will everyone see it that way as more violence erupts across the country? Now, don't get me wrong, I stand with the protesters in their fight against unjust reform. But let's face it, the violence and vandalism is overshadowing the message. We've seen peaceful protests throughout history bring about incredible transformations, but when chaos and violence erupt, the narrative shifts and the noble cause gets lost in the haze. Constructive dialogue and unity are the key to achieving meaningful change. As the protests unfold, we witness the power of collective action. The demands grow louder and the calls for a strike start reverberating through the streets. But is all striking created equal? Here's where things get interesting. Strikes can be a potent tool to amplify voices, but their effectiveness lies in their scale. A general strike, where workers from various industries and sectors unite, sends shockwaves through the system. It brings the economy to a screeching halt and demands attention. However, isolated strikes by specific groups just leads to trash in the streets without removing the trash from the government. Only general strikes truly work. Anything else is just time off. The focus on disrupting public services and transportation without meaningful change creates agitation. Agitation quickly turns into resentment. That resentment completely alienates the common man from the cause. It's time for a totally united front, a symphony of voices harmonizing for a better future. Cities suffer when half-assed strikes take hold. People do too. The French are finding themselves descending into anarchy. There's a real danger that things could go terribly wrong here, but there's a glimmer of hope amidst all the chaos. A different path to get the change they seek. Rather than solely campaigning against a specific law, what if the protesters redirected their efforts towards something even more impactful? It's time to shine a spotlight on the broader issue of the upcoming depopulation crisis. Macron thought he had a damn good reason to force this reform through. He used the emergency powers of Article 49.3 because he thinks it's a real emergency. Why else would he sacrifice his image and his career? What few people realize when watching the protests in grim fascination is that this isn't just a problem for Macron or the French. This is a problem for the whole world. Birth rates are taking a dive off a cliff all around the world. Expensive pension plans, which are propped up by the workers of today, are going to bring entire countries to their knees in the near future when those workers start retiring as well. The tax base of every single developed country in the world is shrinking on a daily basis. Children born today will see a grim future. Tiny working populations struggling to support huge cohorts of elderly pensioners. The protesters need to focus on the root causes behind Macron's decision. We do too. If we get some perspective, we can work on creating true change that resonates far beyond this single law. And if you're passionate about creating change, we urge you to get involved. Start conversations, support organizations advocating for tax reform, and explore ways to build alternate systems that empower all of us. True change begins with small things like that done every day. By influencing policies, engaging in political discourse, and tackling the root cause cause of this crisis, we can defuse the ticking time bomb everyone seems to be ignoring. The Paris protesters, while driven by a noble cause, must rethink their methods. The violence, the destruction of property, the lack of civility, it won't lead anywhere good. Many movements all across history have gone terribly wrong when peace gave way to increasingly dangerous acts of violence. We have to find the delicate balance between passion and compromise. Through peaceful dialogue, unity, and a broader focus on tax reform, the Paris movement can evolve into a force that reshapes their world and ours. Thanks for watching.